what's a bitch? All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022, what's a bitch? All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
Calling me the sector godfather. Type D the real name, the sector get bopped. They said that I'm the nigga that they all love to hate. Fuck the damn chat, nigga, I say it's okay. Motherfuckers want the good guys to come back. Wanna beef with real niggas cause they channel whack. At the church sector in a motherfucking frenzy. Crazy ass nigga KOM tried to see. 2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this. The sector wanna see a new beef every week. Especially from new niggas that wanna beef with me. Some say it's fun and some say it's hard. Trigger the bitch nigga, so he exposed the void. Took a trip to Vegas and we was Vegas lit. The haters saw the videos and they say ain't that a bitch. Left the damn sector, said my robbers tried to take my title. How the hell you try to take my title? I ain't got no fucking rob. 2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
Came for my motherfucking certifications, came for my license, and they came for my accreditation. All the fucking hating don't stop. The Godfather still came on top. Motherfuckers wanna take me down. Wanna see my dollars go from up and then down. The Godfather gon' win anyway. I end the fucking year with fuck the DBA. 2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money.
2022 was a bitch. All a nigga wanna do is this.
Gotta make that money. What's up, the speed? Easy.
Hate niggas like, 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 hate niggas like.
Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Chat sing with me. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA.
To the ladies in the sector, shake that ass, 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 shake that ass. To them ladies in the sector, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, and just shake it real fast. Bitch ass nigga named Alan Logic. Yeah, we know you LGBT in the closet. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, we say it to your face. Motherfucker can't even keep a care of me. Woo! Bitch ass nigga named Alan Logic. Yeah, we know you LGBT in the closet. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, we say it to your face. Motherfucker can't even keep a care of me. Woo!
Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Chat sing with me. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA.
To the ladies in the sector, shake that ass, 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 shake that ass. To them ladies in the sector, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, shake that ass, and just shake it real fast. Pissy ass nigga named K.I.P. Crying ass nigga named motherfucking P. You see him on the panel, yeah, they talking about me. Yeah, you see him in the sector, yeah, they talking about D. Pussy ass nigga, silly ass nigga, old ass worn out dumb ass nigga. You see them all around in the motherfucking sector. They mad that they can't be the Godfather.
Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Chat sync with me. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Fuck the DBA. Dumb bitch asses. Fuck the DBA.
Welcome, everybody. This is Coach D. Durrell Spears, aka the Godfather, aka the Black YouTube Therapist, who is here once again. I like to say, give a shout out to Dr. Nikki Proctor Walden that came out the closet to let me know that D. Durrell, the alpha male, she basically working hard, the hardest working professor in the world right now, working hard right now, listening to me. Happy that you were able to listen to my content while you're basically doing real work. You know, it's good to hear real professionals with real credentials who is doing the real work for the Black community or just in your profession in itself. You know, I'm so tired of hearing fake pseudos and people who claim they're doing this and that, and they think that they're experts in whatever field of study based on them, you know, just think it's just merely them reading Google rhetoric or newspapers or magazines or whatever they claim they got off the internet, and they claim that they're all of a sudden a master at what they're talking about. Love to hear real professionals doing real things like myself. So, again, guys, D. Durrell has not been really inspired to do a lot of content. I'm really not. Man, look at the fucking sector. Look at what the sector talking about right now. I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, really, like, I'm listening to the sector. Not just this sector. I'm looking at other sectors too. But damn, man, the Spengali sector getting dry as fuck. The Spengali sector, repeat, when your content is all about clipping what somebody else doing, when your content is all about trying to dig into somebody's real fucking life and all of this, I'm gonna come see you, you see me, ain't nobody seeing a goddamn thing. Come on, man. The content is shitty in the Spengali sector. It's shitty. Then, guys, before I get started on Black women protection and protecting Black women, which I feel we should be doing, when you got Rev G going live, and to me, I'm looking at Rev G and I'm like, are you delusional? This guy has to be one of the most delusional persons that I have ever seen on YouTube. This Negro say that the Spengali sector, the anti-fraud warrior amongst himself is our sector. Yeah, you're right. Y'all do have your own sector, but nobody watching and listening to you. Now, the problem is that other different aspects of the sector, other different posts, areas of the sector, they love to respond to the shit that you're doing. They love to respond to what you're doing. But they're not listening to you like that. They're not listening to Andrea Michelle Stewart like that. They're not. They're really not. And you know what? Nobody really cares. But you still have a sector. You still got a sector. Shout out to Miss Queen Sunkiss. Shout out to LV. What's going on, man? What's going on, Miss Queen? I see you doing your thing on your journey, your weight loss journey. Doing your thing. So, D Darrell been busting my ass real hard trying to, get this dollar store right like it need to be, trying to get other businesses going good. And I'm doing extra work right now because I will be going to Maui, Hawaii next week for damn near for a whole week. And I don't want to be bothered. I told my staff, all my businesses, please do not call me unless it's something that's detrimental to the business staying afloat. So I'm doing all type of stuff, putting in double time. Just so happened today, I finished up some stuff a little early. And once I finish that, I'll be going to the dollar store to go take care of some business. So I got a little break. I'm going to be on for about an hour, a little less than an hour. And so I'm going to chop it up with y'all. So that's what's been up. What's up, Hoyt? What's up, my opinion? See you up in here. Love to see you up in here bright and early, as usual. So for today, guys, the topic at hand, I was somewhat inspired to talk about this. I seen we on Live talking about it. I seen people in the manosphere talking about Black women's protection. And so what I want to focus on is the truth about protecting Black women. I want to, in some ways, synthesize what does that involve. What's up, Godmother? Godmother in the house. She says, shout out to the Godfather. Appreciate you for being here. So I want to preface at the beginning of talking about this is that all Black women deserve protection. I want us to understand this no matter what I'm talking about. I want, and the things that I'm going to talk about and all the dynamics that entails, all Black women, Black girls, Black teenagers, all females, any functional community, any functional society, any functional civilization, you have to protect the women. That's like, one of the reasons why I took so long to talk about this is because it's like it should be second nature. Like and sometimes the reason why I don't talk about certain things on YouTube is because it's like how meaningful is it to talk about this? And have we fallen as a community where we have to really, really tell Black men in period, that you have to protect your women? Because my reality and the environments that I'm in, good and bad, men do this all the time without talking about it. Okay? And so we have to look at everything that involves. And I think in looking at YouTube, there is a propensity to show the most extreme situations in which they feel that Black women don't deserve protection. We look to show the most extreme situations in which we want to depict Black women as being the fire starters of these issues that caused the conflict in the first place. And from my perspective, whether or not a woman triggered the event or not is not the I mean, it is partially the issue. However, the bottom line is that any real man is not going to want to hit a woman or not going to even want to be that aggressive towards a woman that she feels threatened to be harmed. Okay? So I teach anger management all the time. What's up, Redbone? How you doing, baby? Shout out to Redbone. I teach anger management. I teach people how to de-escalate situations. I teach and I process ways in which people can verbally dwindle down their emotions and think about the consequences of their behavior. I have went into corporations. Matter of fact, I go at least 3 or 4 times a year. I go on site to whether it's an educational institution, a corporate office, any mid-level business, whatever, no matter what sector they're operating in. And I teach people how to handle themselves and how to reduce their anger. And I have had some on-office domestic disputes. I have dealt with situations in which men and women were at blows with one another, wanting to be aggressive, whether it was the man wanting to be aggressive towards the woman or the woman on the man. And so my position is that every woman deserves protection. Now, because every woman deserves the protection doesn't mean that every woman will get protection. And not only will every woman get protection, is if the position is that in that situation, as a man, I will never profess that every black man should blindly jump into a volatile situation, particularly if you don't know the situation and risk your life to protect. Particularly somebody that is not your wife, your daughters, your family, your cousins, or some person that you know. I mean, there's levels to this. And by nature, human beings don't openly just go and protect people that they don't know and don't care about. So we have to be mindful of the situations that come about and how a black man is supposed to function whenever he sees a black woman or female, period, in danger. Okay? But protection can mean a lot of different things. I would never, whether I know a woman or not, sit there and allow a woman to get her ass whipped by a man. Particularly if based on how I'm vetting the situation, if you don't have a weapon, particularly a gun, I'm going to intervene, but you don't have to intervene physically. And so when people think about how to apply protection, we initially think you're supposed to just physically jump your butt between people and start swinging and being aggressive. No, you should not. I professionally teach people to maintain a safe space when you are verbally engaging with them first. I teach that in those situations, you should be at least 8 to 10 feet away from the situation, and you're verbally telling the aggressor to calm down, or you verbally telling the other person to leave the situation, or you tell both people to calm down, or you're trying to see, hey, are you okay? Is everything all right? Is there an issue? Again, you are verbally speaking in a non-aggressive but affirmative style, letting them know that I'm here to help the person that, you know, feel like that's fearing for their life, or the person that's not necessarily that's on the who's being victimized per se. Okay. And no, it doesn't have to Vichy. Shout out to Vichy. It doesn't have to be physical, and that's the issue. People assume, but again, you want to stay, I'd say 8 to 10 feet away. Keep your boundary. Okay. You verbally speak to both parties. Affirm that the female is okay. Encourage Okay, guys, I'm back. I hope my sound quality is better. Had a little bit of issue. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Okay, I think everybody can hear me now. So, okay, good. So we're looking at your safety. Protecting a person doesn't mean that you should automatically risk yourself. Assess the situation. Assess your surroundings. Verbally try to talk both parties down if you can. Okay? If that person don't want to stop, if that person is basically getting ready to hit or start swinging on a person and all this other stuff, call 911. You can call the cops. You don't have to throw yourself in harm's way. Now, for me, in a situation, this is me personally, if I see a man striking a woman and he won't stop, I will intervene physically. I'm not telling other men to do that, but I will. Now, you have the right to contact the authorities. You have a right to at least try to restrain the person or whatever, or you can try to break them up and get the female out of the environment. Okay? We want to get the female out of the environment. We want to protect her and get her out of harm's way. That's my number one concern. Getting her out of that harmful environment. Not to necessarily fight the guy who's fighting her and striking her, but to protect the woman. Protecting the female doesn't mean you necessarily have to fight the man. You don't have to get into a physical altercation. Because I've seen some bad situations happen. The guy's fighting, the police arrest both men. Or the police beat up both men. Or somebody gets shot by the police when they come on the scene being hyper vigilant to resolve an issue. This is how things happen, particularly as black men. These are potentially the outcomes. You're trying to protect a female and you're the one that gets shot up. You're the one get killed. You're the one get beat up. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if I'm in a situation and I see two people arguing and fighting, and I ask the female in my verbal exchange to decompress the situation, and I'm asking the female, ma'am, why don't you leave, or why don't you calm down, don't engage, but she constantly engaging, she constantly in his face, she constantly acting like she gonna handle it. I am not, and I'm gonna say this, repeat, I am not gonna continuously try to encourage her to stop or leave. I've done my due diligence by trying to tell you to slow your roll, to calm down, do not engage, and leave. I could be prone to calling the cops. I am not getting physically between the two of you if I'm asking you to settle down and you choose to continue to engage. I'm not doing that. I'm going to try to talk you down. If you refuse to listen, I'm leaving. I've done my part. I'm not going to get in a situation where I'm trying to stop you from getting hurt, but you want to continuously get in somebody's face, yell and curse them out, and you know, going up to a grown man who's way bigger and stronger than you, you know, not looking at the true outcome. And the true outcome is that you can get hurt. If I see a situation and somebody has a weapon, I don't care if it's a knife, a bat, whatever, I'm not getting involved. I will call the police from afar. I will try to verbally tell them don't do it or try to discourage the action. But I am not about to jump in between something, particularly if I ain't got a weapon. And if they got a gun or something else, I'm not getting involved. I'm not going to help somebody if I feel like I'm risking my own life. I'm not. But am I willing to try to attempt to do something to slow it down? If both parties don't want to listen, they refuse to listen to a cooler head, they continuously want to be engaged and allow the situation to intensify, then that's what's just going to have to happen. That's just what's going to have to happen. And you know what? Unfortunately, that happens. I have seen so many different types of domestic violence situations. I've seen work-related situations, random shit happening. You know, I've seen this numerous times just driving around. I've seen this stuff. Years ago, when for the last company I ever worked for, I used to do what's called mobile crisis. I've actually worked, and I've heard T. Pre talked about the ACT team. I actually was a director of the ACT team program for a company I worked for. I worked ACT, which is assertive community treatment for people who have severe mental illness who are in and out of the hospital. The goal is to keep them out of the hospital. And part of the ACT team is you had to provide crisis services. In those crisis services, I saw situations where people who were mentally ill or somebody was attacking somebody who was mentally ill. Both sides of it. Okay? And in those situations, again, we're verbally attempting to de-escalate the situation for both parties. I'm not jumping my butt into a situation and vetting if I feel someone has a weapon. If somebody does not have a weapon and I am confident that there's no weapon, I don't mind getting dirty if that's the case. But if somebody has a knife, they got a gun or some other object, metal object in their hand, I'm not getting involved. I'm going to tell the victim, the potential victim, to quit engaging and leave. I will call 911 and let them know there's an altercation with this man and a woman. It's a domestic situation. The police need to be here. There are a lot of black men who don't want to engage in fear of their own life. And to be honest, I cannot fault a man for looking out for himself, particularly if he got kids, he has family, who has things going on for himself. But again, Every black boy should be taught, at least I was, to protect. I was taught to protect my younger siblings, my cousins. I was taught, even if some of my female cousins were older, you were taught as a black boy, at least in my family growing up in the South, to protect the females in your family, your sisters, your aunts, your cousins, second, third, fourth cousin. You protect the females. But notice when I talked about this, the first thing I talked about was verbal de-escalation. I did not talk about jumping in and trying to restrain somebody and getting in between. No. The first thing you should be doing is verbal de-escalation towards the aggressor and emphasizing that the victim or the alleged victim needs to leave. If you de-escalate the aggressor, the victim is no longer at harm. If the victim actually listens to you and stop engaging and disengage, she will lose harm unless the perpetrator is aggressively going after her. Now, in a situation where the aggressor is running behind or going after the victim who's running away, in my position, I will engage to stop him from trying to harm this woman. Okay? Let me repeat this again. In a situation, if the victim listens to me telling them, can you please leave? Why don't you leave? Don't get close to him. Move away from him. Don't engage. And she does it, and this fool runs behind her or say, listen to me, or try to grab, I will engage physically to get between them or to at least apprehend him where she can leave and move safely. Being that I don't think he has a weapon. If he shows no signs of pulling out something, he just basically randomly out there, empty-handed, and they're just having a verbal exchange and he's coming after her. Listen, if I got to rumble, I'll rumble in that situation. I'll rumble if there's no weapons involved, but I'm not rumbling if somebody has a weapon and so forth, because I don't carry weapons. I don't carry weapons, period. Okay? So we have to look at, again, as a black man randomly walking, you see a situation, view the surroundings, number one. See if the surroundings, see what's going on in the surroundings. Maintain your space of at least 8 to 10 feet, and you verbally try to de-escalate the perpetrator, and you encourage the victim or the alleged victim or the less aggressive person to leave the situation. Assess to see if this person has something in his hand. If he got something like he about to pull something out of his pocket, out of his pants, if he's showing something or he's threatening to use something to harm her. If not, then there should be a situation in which there should be a situation in which you de-escalate and you ask that person, the victim, to leave. If the victim leaves and he comes behind her, yeah, I this personally, me, other people may not do this, but I'm fine with calling 911. And if I got to interact to hold him or restrain him or get between them so he don't harm this lady, I don't have a problem doing that. I don't have a problem doing that. I can protect myself. If it's just me, you one-on-one, hands on hands, hey, I take my chances. Okay? But I'm calling 911. Okay? So And in some situations, many situations, it's more or less going to be just yelling, screaming, and cursing. And then once the police come, they'll handle it. You really don't have to just blindly just jump in there. Oh man, leave her alone, leave the sister alone. Don't do this, cursing the man out. Do not curse somebody out. Say all types of conflictual things, offend them, call them, you pussy ass nigga, you ain't shit. Don't hit a woman. Don't use that language. You don't have to use that type of language. You can speak calmly. You can speak affirmatively. Okay? You can speak in a non-aggressive manner to diffuse the situation. Okay? So that's how that works. Okay? So the police come, they do what they have to do, take information, they ask whatever, you do what you have to do, you live another day, you move on. Okay? But again, if you choose as a black man to mind your own business, I'm not going to tell you not to do that, but I do think, particularly as black men, we do have a duty to protect our community, protect our women. Okay? And protection does not mean that you just jump into harm's way and get into a violent altercation. You can call the police, call the authorities or whomever, security that's there. If it's in a shopping area or whatever, where there's police or security, you can contact them to do that. That's what they're paid for. But to me, the issue is that we can't sit here and act like black men don't protect their own women, because black men do protect black women. Now, if black men being the way we're looked upon in society choose not to do so, listen, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I understand. I wouldn't do that, because I have gotten into situations where I've seen things get very volatile. Some of these things involve what I do for a living. Okay? I've been involved in situations domestically. I've seen husband and wives in counseling sessions about to go off on each other. And I had to intermingle into that situation and diffuse the situation verbally. And I diffuse those situations by doing the exact things that I'm telling you all right now. I did not aggressively, get all in the man's face. I didn't start threatening to hurt him. If I didn't want to shame him for trying to hit a woman. What I did was focus on talking to him to calm down. I was talking to him to think about the consequences of his action. Is it worth this? I was telling the female to leave instead of engaging. And when those things happen, the situation dissolved. And that's the facts. And that's what I want to talk about. Little black girls, little teenagers running the street, and they got fools, trying to touch on these little girls. Now that situation, I'm a little bit more hyper vigilant. When it comes to teenagers and little kids and little girls, in elementary school, and you got pedos and different people doing stuff, I'm a little bit more hyper vigilant for stuff like that. I'm willing to take a risk. And that may not be the smartest thing, but for those situations, I'm willing to be a little bit more aggressive. Okay? Because those are children. Okay? We're not talking about domestic situations. We're not talking about whatever other, connectiveness that these two people may have had. But we're talking about little girls in elementary school, middle school, high school. I'm sorry. I'm willing to be a little bit more aggressive, particularly if I know these are grown men or they look like grown men. Now, I still want to, in some way, have some level of safety for myself, and still assessing things and determining how I'm going to engage. You still don't want to be reckless But I'm for myself am willing to be more aggressive in those situations. And that's what it is. Okay. And yes, you may get hurt in the situation. And when you're trying to protect somebody, that's the risk you take. That's the risk you take. You see, when we have a community where people just look the other way on shit, and when it's your daughter or your sister about to get their ass whipped, and a man think like that, you may want to think twice about that. I have adult daughters. I have a 25-year-old daughter, and I have another daughter that is 22 years old. I hope that they don't have to have a situation like that, and they have black men who think and look the other way and care less if a black female is getting hurt or not. Oh, well, they ain't none of my business. Fuck that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm moving forward. Okay, I wish if all black men thought that way, then we in trouble, because that shows a lack of value that you have towards black women and a lack of value that you have for our people, period. And if you want to be valued, you have to value the people in your community first. You have to value the women, the men, the children. You have to value each other. If you don't value each other, I don't want to hear no shit when other people treat you like shit. And if you have a mindset that you don't care about what happens to your brother and your sisters in the community, don't come complaining to me when other groups of people don't show you the lack of respect, the same lack of respect that other people show you, you're showing to your own community. I don't want to hear any excuses. And black women have the right to feel safe. They have the right to feel safe. And that's my perspective. But that's how I teach de-escalation professionally. That's how I teach it. That's what I teach people, because the way you de-escalate the situation is not to be physically getting all in the person's face. It's to verbally de-escalate both parties. And you're maintaining your boundaries and your space away from them. And you only engage closer if you feel like there's immediate danger about to happen. That's how I teach it. And I've had to use it a few times, particularly working in facilities or working in the community where there were crisis situations. And in those situations, I never had a situation where I felt like I had to swing on somebody. Never. Because by the time that I verbally calmed both people down, everything was good. And that's the goal. That's the goal, that everybody calms down. Everybody thinks about what they're about to do and what the consequences are, and they realize that they're getting ready to make a mistake. So that's the perspective that I'm giving on that. And see, we got to get out of this stuff about, not engaging, not trying to protect our. We claim, we want a black community to be so great, but we don't want to do the things to make the black community great, and that's fundamental. Protecting black women is fundamental to the black community. Protecting black women is fundamental to the perseverance of black people, period. Because they're the ones who will give birth to the next generation. And they will teach those values to young boys, period. So appreciate you all for being here. I just wanted to have a nice little conversation with you all. Did not want to do a very, very long live stream today because I got some other things I got to do. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow, talking about some things, but I just wanted to have a nice little conversation on this. And I welcome your perspectives. I do welcome your your input on what I said, whether you agree, disagree, or there's some things you would do differently or not, that's fine. That is fine. But I'm going to repeat this, and I've said this. Black women deserve protection. Black girls, black teenagers, black females, period, in our community deserve protection. If we don't protect females in our race, we won't have a race. If you don't protect females, they won't feel safe. They won't be able to psychologically thrive. We need that. That's just fundamental. That's just a fundamental building block towards a civil society. So once again, guys, y'all have a great day. This is Coach D. Darrell Spears, aka Black YouTube Therapist. Have a great day.